Good morning. All right, this week's book is Jan Spins a Web. So every single time before we read, what do good readers do? They think about and they prepare their brain, they prime it, get the thoughts flowing into their brain to help build those bridges. So what are things that we already know about spiders? I want you to think about that at home for a second. What do we already know about spiders? No, not that they're scary, not that one. Think about other things about spiders. They spin webs. Yeah, we do see them in basements or in the woods. They're different than bugs. They have 8 legs. Yeah, they do eat other bugs. So there's some things we already know about spiders. What is something that only a spider can do? They can only spin. They are the only types of animals that spin webs. Yeah. So there we go. We've already built some bridges in our brain. We used our schema, the things that we already know, to help us already start building bridges for our reading this week. All right. Also this week, before we get started, we're going to do some word work. We're going to take short vowels and turn them into long vowels. Some of these words you will see in the book this week. We're taking a look at this word. This is the name of the character this week. J-A-N. That A sound like Jan. But to turn it into a long vowel, if we tack an E on the end, this A suddenly becomes a long A. And it's brave enough to just say its name. So J-A-N. We don't hear an E sound at the end. So we don't hear an A like Ed at the end. The A sound really doesn't exist in the word. But it does make A brave enough to say its name. J-A-N. Let's try another one. Tim. So what happens when we take Tim and we put that E at the end of the word? Let's try it again. Remember, this E doesn't really make a sound in the word, but this E helps I be brave enough to speak on her own. So I'm fine. So we took our short vowel, I, we took our I and we made it into an I. So to M into to I'm. Great work. Let's try another one. We have F in fin, like a shark. What happens when we add an E at the end of the word to make it a long vowel? So our I doesn't say anymore. Now it says I. Good. So we went from F in to F ein. Fine. Remember, this E does not make a sound, so it's not fine, it's just fine, fine. So we went from thin to fine. How cool is that? By just changing one letter, we changed the whole word. Ip. We went from ip to I, right. So we went from rip to ripe. We've got that consonant blend at the beginning. These two letters, they still make their own sounds. But our tongue just rolls with it. Id into slide. Slid to slide. This is a word from last week. Last week we saw this word with our nature book, didn't we? Op, hop. And now this week we're going to see a different word in our book, but now it has an E at the end. So we go from op, like opera singer, op, to o, hope. So we're going from hop to hope. And let's see. One more. Oh, there's a red-tailed hawk in my woods this morning. We go from like itch, spin. But if we put the E on the end, we go to ein. So we go from spin to spine. Here are two more long vowel words we will see in this book. Ave, cave, and a, make. So hopefully you see now, Bobcat, that by adding that E at the end of the word, you don't hear the E, but it does change our vowel from a short vowel to a long vowel. It makes the vowel say its name. So now it's time for you to be a reader. Get your book out and read through your book this week. And as you come across long vowel words, circle it. Give it a little circle. So if I'm reading here and I go, time to spin my web, said Jan, but where will I make it? Let's see. I can see two long vowel words real quick. Can you find them? Yeah. Time and make. It's got that vowel and then a consonant and then another vowel. So we know that this is a long I now and a long A because E was such a great friend. He made those vowels brave enough to speak up for themselves and say their name. So as you're being a reader this morning and you go through your next few pages, you are going to be a long vowel detective, and you're going to spot those long vowels, and you're going to circle them and read them to your parents. After you've read your book, talk about what happens in the beginning, middle, and end of your story. All right, readers. Thanks for joining me today, and I can't wait to hear more about those long vowels that you find.